The most important thing as activists that we need to be aware of is how people respond to what we say. This is where every single excuse and argument against veganism comes from. So when we pay attention to the responses and to the excuses we see, these are all in response to how we are defending and educating people on the topic of veganism. So for example, if we're sending out the message that, we should stop killing animals because it's really cruel or it's really bad and these gas chambers are bad, we have to understand that what people are going to think is that vegans are against killing animals. Obviously, I'm against animals being killed unnecessarily, but that's not what veganism is trying to fight against. Veganism is fighting against the objectification of these animals. It's fighting against the use of these animals, using them for food and clothing and entertainment and for test subjects and all the other things. So if I was to say that veganism is against killing, I don't actually cover the whole injustice. And that's what brings the excuses, like the excuse that, hey, well, actually, animals still die for harvesting crops, so you guys are all hypocrites. Like, what these people are actually trying to do is trying to discredit the movement to make themselves feel justified. And so if we don't perfectly represent veganism, we give them that ammo. So it's up to us to make sure that the way we advocate doesn't leave them with any ammo. Because after you finish delivering the message, if they have no ammo, then they have no excuse. And if they have no excuse, then you saved a whole bunch of time and energy, and they will actually understand the injustice. So this is why it's so important not to focus on killing, not to focus on abuse, not to focus on treatment, not to focus on cruelty, not to focus on reducing suffering, not to focus on reducing harm, because all of these things are inevitable and they are awful. I'm not saying that they're not, but they are not at the root and they do not cover the whole picture. It's possible to exploit an animal without causing them any harm. It's possible to exploit an animal without them suffering. So if we don't paint the full picture, we forget about some of the victims. For example, imagine there's some humans being discriminated against their skin color, but you're only talking about the ones who are male who are being discriminated because of their skin color, and you're forgetting about the women who are being discriminated because of their skin color. That is what you're doing. If you're not talking about the whole picture, you are forgetting about the victims. You're not covering the root. You're not addressing the mentality that these people have, which chooses to ignore the individuality, the subjective experience of these sentient beings, and instead reduce them to merely just a product. And this goes for activists talking to other activists too. If you keep getting blocked, if you keep getting into fights, and if people don't actually receive your message or your feedback or your criticism, the problem is with you, not with them. You clearly have an understanding of what it is that you're trying to deliver to them. And if you're not delivering it to them properly, that falls upon you. So figure out what it is that you need to figure out to get other people to actually listen to the feedback that you're giving them, not think that you're trying to criticize and attack them, and deliver the message properly. And if you are somebody who, after receiving criticism, wants to attack that person, then that's where you are also at fault. Because the moment you start to attack another person, you lose focus of the animals. You lose focus of the bigger picture, and you make this about you. You make this about ego. And if you make this about you and you make this about ego, first, it's so fucking petty and doesn't need to happen. But two, the animals are the ones who pay the price. So rather than attack, what you can do is take your position as somebody who can offer that person education to say, hey, I would have listened to this criticism if you delivered it in this way. And if you choose to do that next time in this way, maybe I will listen to you. Because this is how we as a movement can unify and build and work together. We need to be unified. This is a war. Our enemy is massive. And if we are not unified, they are winning. So remember, listen, understand. The only thing that we can control as activists is what we say, how we say it, who we say it to, and how long we say it for. And if you are not trying to perfect all 4 of those categories, then you, my friend, are only here for yourself.